Awesome. Oh, you've still got everything sort of
I
open
just,
and
I
going.
just,
Yeah,
I just reopened it all. Yeah.
yeah, good stuff. So what you can do in here up the top, yeah, so we'll probably open two of these today, actually. Just right click on your hyperlink CMG 2210 up the of this one. No, just that top underneath Basecamp 2, there's the blue. Yeah, just right click open it and open in a new one as well. Yeah. And that way, what we'll do, so this is the right one because we're going to go down to planning, but I'll just have a look at, so, so yeah, so you can scroll down this one first, and we just talk about what we're going to have a look at this morning. So, and I'll show you, and then we'll just have a look at the write up from yesterday as well. So here we are, this planning session. Cool, I didn't update the date on this part there, but there you go. We know we're here. So yeah, the idea of today is, well, firstly, we've talked about the sort of objectives before, right? So yesterday we spent a bit of time just making sure everything's on brand and looks really good, professional, that side of things, just to build equity in those in your online presence. We kind of know that. Hey, this is interesting. We're getting. Is that something you've had built in where you get the subtitles?
Oh, I don't know is the short answer. It yeah,
That's I wish I had that all the time. Often that's very
I don't know where it's come from. And it's started turning up, and I always think I should turn that off. And I'm always fascinated that it works, so I kind of leave it on.
Yeah, leave it on. It's good.
Yep,
You'd be the
yep,
only recording where I don't have to build any subtitles. Not that I do when they're not listed, but anyway, that's pretty
yeah,
cool.
yeah,
Um, So, yeah, the idea being that we kind of give you a competitive advantage by differentiating you against the others out there, not doing the things that the presence that you've got. Clearly, the idea being is top of mind. You would have heard me sort of say, a lot of the day-to-day type posting is about getting and staying in touch, or in top of mind of the people that already know of you. So those referrers, those businesses that are following you, those people that have used you before, friends of friends, that sort of thing. So that's that
yep,
retained business. And then generally speaking, the ad is about getting you in front of people that don't know you yet. Right. So
okay,
that's the idea of around the Facebook ads management. And then ultimately, if we're doing things well, we want you to continue to grow and get more business continuously through the business side of things. So they're the objectives. So the next little part where we talk about who that does primarily, there's a couple of things. What we're first going to do is look at connecting uh, person to person on LinkedIn side of things. I know you've got sales manager, and you may have done a little bit of this, but I'll just show you how I go about sort of connecting with the people that I think it's worth strategically connecting with.
yep,
Then, generally speaking, the only way to grow the likes of Instagrams and Twitters, and even to some degree our Facebook page from a business to business perspective, is to follow others. So I just sort of we do a little bit of that, but a lot of that connecting, we'll do it together, but effectively it just becomes ongoing homework that it's good for the business to continue to do it in sort of down times where I'm done for the day. Don't want to have to think too hard. I'll just
yep,
go in and I'll follow some stuff and see what's interesting on a couple of my socials, and I'll try and get their attention. Effectively, the idea being, um, people, particularly with say Instagram and Twitter, people can see who you're following. So you don't go out of your way to follow competitors, but you do look at things that are going to help place you geographically. So in other words, you can follow a lot of things, whether it's media, businesses locally, referral groups, and things that are related, beautiful home and garden, that sort of stuff, so that you get kind of got related media perhaps as well, and related industry things. So it helps, so that people that then are looking, at beautiful homes and gardens, let's say, all of a sudden say, oh, uh, who are who are you following in some ways? But often one of the good things is you can get people following you back around that sort of stuff, and even landscaping, strata, those sort of ones that you really want to. We'll
mm,
have a good look at that, so that there's some real key strategic people I know that you look at. NDIS business. Now there's a lot of NDIS business you could be following, and that sort of thing
yeah,
as well.
yeah, for
Um,
sure.
and so again, we're not going to do all that this morning because that just ongoing stuff that you could continue to do. But I just want to set you up so that you kind of we're confident that that's going to be very easy for you to do and continue to do. So, um, and then we look at saved audiences in Facebook ads as well. So we kind of say, well, okay, the people that you want to work with, where do they live? What do they look like? And we put them in, and it's broad based. It could be as homeowner, strata property, those sorts of things. We start to look at what's in Facebook Ads Manager for us to be able to target particular people as well. So
Okay.
um, that'll probably be the back half. So the first hour we'll look at connecting and that side of things. Second half we'll look at the Facebook Ads Management, I'd say. Just scroll down a little bit further for me, Chris. Uh, yep. And so, so in here, one of the things to be, I don't probably talk about this as much as I should, right? So in terms of, people are often doing, mail outs and other things. Just make sure, if you can in future, in the same way as we're going to get Hillary to put, your social media icons and links on website, consider it for, well, for instance, on your van, on
Yeah.
that van, you could be putting, you know, the 5 icons, underneath website, for instance. Now you've had that van done, but it might be just a
Yep.
future thing, and it would just be, here are the icons.
Yeah.
It's basically what I've got here, so that people know, oh, I can
I'm
find
on
him
that.
on there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yep.
So, and whilst we were saying before, you were mentioning Comstra didn't come across the way you were hoping it would, but you could continue to build that. So start to people go, oh, Comstra, yeah, no, I don't know those guys. You know what I mean? So the
Yep.
more sort of inputs you can give them that tells them where they can find you, the better, right? So whether it's marketing material, outdoor signage, any of that sort of stuff, always good to integrate, not just your website, in other words, integrate your social so people know you are a social business and they can find you on there. Yeah. And you would have seen that on other tradies at different times. They might
For
have
sure.
just their Facebook and Instagram on there,
Yep.
for instance.
Yep.
Um, but as I said, the clever thing to do, I believe, I don't know why people don't put the Google. You can Google us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you put Comstra in now, you're going to be very
It pops up.
Googleable. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yep.
Yeah, as I said, we'll have a look at Ads Manager. The three main parts of the Ads Manager. Clearly, we actually know that it's we'll have to add an actual ad account into there for you, but then we'll also create those saved audience. We'll create a pixel that we can put behind your website that measures visitations sort of through the website. It's a little bit like Google Analytics, but not. It's more of a rough idea, because essentially, you might have 500 flares through the website. What that means is 500 pages have been visited. It may only be 250 people, but they may have gone from here to here, sort of thing.
Yep.
Does that make sense? So
It
they're
does.
called flares, and that's what the pixel measures. And
Okay.
then we'll just make sure that we're on the same page in terms of what are we going to post. So if we're going to post Tuesday and Thursday, which is kind of what I'm suggesting, maybe we post a particular service type that you provide on a Tuesday, and you're building testimony and review. So I'd almost go a service and a review. So it's not going to be rocket science for yourself. I would just
Yep.
do, because that would give us then the potential to have, just those regular 2 posts. I think there's still probably capacity for you to do, if you want to do it, rather than, and as I said, it sort of keeps you involved. But those sort of photos you've done in the past, rather than sort of necessarily send them through to me, you can just upload them into your Instagram and Facebook, when you job today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alternatively, if you want to, you could also just say, here's a job today that I did today, Steve, can you put it across everything? So it's up to
Yep.
you, but you're
Yep.
fairly handy. Just because we've only got 2 days planned, it's not to say you can't post on alternate days to what we're posting. You know what I mean?
Cool.
Yep. So that's that side of things. Cool. So just on that other base camp tab, we'll just click on that one up the top there. And then your handiwork just all in a one thing. So we got that social media website pages and accounts set up. The top one where you are there actually, or that one there.
Yeah. I'll click on it.
Yeah, click on that one. Yep.
Yep.
And you would have got this as an email as well. But effectively, this is just, you could more or less that email probably send. So just so to be clear, you at the moment you haven't got your company LinkedIn on the website. You do have your Facebook page. We probably just need to check. I would send. Uh, Hillary that email virtually. So it doesn't. It's not probably not. The fact that Hillary, even for Facebook, she may well need to sign in. But or realistically, I can. What I normally just do is send the links that I've put an asterisk next to. But as I said, at the end of the day, yeah. So if you're going to make a little note, at the end of the day, we're going to have a little pixel code as well. So we'll send that as together with for her, right? But
Okay.
those ones that I've put a little asterisk next to, so YouTube channel, your Google Map, Twitter, Instagram, be good to have icons at the top, and I think you may have top and bottom, but have them on the page so people know that they can click. I think at the moment yours click over the website. Now Hillary said there's a reason to do that for disability, but I would question whether that's a greater reason than if they click on your Facebook at the moment and it goes over the top of your website. My concern would be that they'll never go back to your website.
Okay.
So I would suggest that you actually click it on a new tab.
Okay.
Yep. So that way they have to come back to your website to close it at
Yeah.
some point. Yeah.
Yeah.
So otherwise it becomes a window away, and we want windows in, not windows out necessarily. Yeah.
Mm.
Cool. All right. Well, let's uh, so yeah, so they're all, and they're looking great. And so I've put them all in Publer now. I just haven't put the I need to do watermarking and that sort of stuff, but I've put them in Publer. So you may have even got a in fact, if you were to go in Publer now with the one next to it, and so up the top, yeah, that one there. If you refresh, maybe, because I only did it this morning before we got on. I wonder if all of a sudden now you've got to click through and you're in my workspace as well. Usually get an email to say, or a
I'll get an
notification.
email.
Yeah, so that notification there up the top, click on that notifications. It probably says, yeah, Diffie Social Attitude. So click on that top notification. I wonder whether it'll, click there. Does that go anywhere? Or yeah, so okay, so now, um, so effectively you have access. So what you then can do, so when you go create, click on the left-hand side for create for me. So yeah, see now you've got my view. So see how all of your channels are up the top there, the top all five of them, not just so yeah. So when I'm going and posting, I just go on that drop down, that little arrow on the left hand side,
Yep.
and I just select all of them, and I can post through all. Yep. So
Oh wow.
so anyway, the reality is, yeah, that's the view. I don't know. So yeah. So if you can't see five, then that means you're in your free version. If you can see five, then you're in the paid version, effectively. Just so you know.
Okay.
All right. Any questions? All good?
No, all good.
Excellent. Let's head to LinkedIn.
Personal or company?
Yeah, no, personal for now. So, well, actually, no. Let me show you because you've already got some connections. You're already a 500 pluser, right? So, what
Yeah.
I'm going to
I
show
used to
you,
use it a lot. Yeah.
you
Used to. Yeah.
perfect. Yeah, but probably for your old business, is that
Yeah.
right? For
Yeah.
your
Exactly
previous
right.
working life, yeah.
Yep. Exactly right.
So let's go. The reason that we want to have connections, or one of the reasons, there's multiple reasons clearly. Firstly, you're in B&I. You've heard the saying, particularly in small business, your net worth or your network is your net
Yep.
worth. Because then there's the more people that think of you, know of you, refer you, that side of things, right? But if we head to your business or your company page, so you can scroll down and click on Comstra logo down below. Actually, we're in. Oh, you click on that one on the left-hand side. There's a shortcut for you. Yeah, click on the hyperlink. Yep, well there. So in here, if you go Admin Tools on the right-hand side there, yep, and you've got Invite Connections. And so we should go and invite all of our B&I people, right? So scrolling down, and if they don't come up quickly, because I'll know some of them as well, what you can just do. And look, I say invite your BNI connections. Invite anybody that you think is likely to be beneficial to either using your service or having people that might know your service. Uh,
Yeah,
and I was started out a bit the same. I have a big sort of local government sport and recreation background, so it was a bit the same. But in some ways, there was certain ones, if they wanted me to do well in business, um, and are likely to be supportive, then I still invited them. Um, so I imagine, yeah, that you've got. So clearly, anyone, if you've done recently for the, which we're going to do in a second, but I want to look at some of these strata things as well.
yeah. I can
Yep.
go through and do that. Yeah,
Correct. So that's how easy it is. So you're basically just going in, inviting any relevant connection. So any relevant connection, as I mentioned, is clearly people nowadays that you've connected with since you've probably left, right? I imagine a lot of it.
yeah.
Yep.
I
So
did a bit of a well. I did a very very quick rough search on some strata companies and connected with a few people, but it was very ad hoc. Yeah,
yeah. Um, what I get. Actually, you know what? That's live caption. I like that. I'm going to search that because live caption very good. I reckon. Is that a Mac you're on?
no.
No, go on.
It's connected to. I'm fairly certain it's connected to my browser. So Google.
Oh yeah. Oh, that would make sense. Yeah, Google
Google
Chrome.
it's related to Google Chrome. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, there you go. Awesome. Um, so let's start with something that I start with for everybody, right? So let's start with Brimbank, Brimbank City Council. And I may have done. I've talked to you about this before, right? In terms of there we go, that top one, right? So give them a follow, and then click on Brimbank City Council up your view page. Yep, and you can see people next to jobs. And so you might have to scroll down. It sort of talks about where they studied, but then it's got them here, right? So let's go. It's actually a pretty ordinary view this way, but yeah, Laura Dean, manager city strategy, not so much. She Laura, yeah, keep going down. Talia, and I want to find actually procurement be actually message. She's a third. So click on see Heather Hughes. If you click on Heather,
It sort of change hands like this.
all right, because yeah, hand's still
Yeah,
hurting.
it's gone nuts. Heather, you said.
Heather Hughes. She's the one up above, so procurement there. So click on her, just not message, just click on her face. So, because you're a third connection, what I want you
Yeah,
so then it's got more next to Sales Navigator. It's just got more,
yeah.
and it's got in here you can go connect right under follow,
Ah,
add a note. Uh,
sorry.
you're all right,
Sound.
and I just want you to type hi Heather, uh, comma. Uh, oh,
Sorry.
no, you're
Can't
all right.
feel my fingers.
I feel for you.
Oof.
um, um, I operate a local mowing and gardening business, or lawn mowing and gardening business. Uh, I operate a local government. It would be good to connect and stay in touch. Something along those lines. At least that's what I tend to write. Right? It'd be good to connect and stay in touch. Kind regards, Chris. May as well take a copy of that because then we'll
Yeah,
just
good
copy,
idea.
yeah, copy and paste it into Basecamp for us. But we'll start a notes again, and we'll get rid of Heather so that we don't write it to somebody else. Yeah, if you know what I mean. So go
Yeah, yeah.
down the bottom, and in the comment section.
Oh, you
Yeah,
saying
we
there?
just start a
Yep.
new one today. Just do paste. Yeah. And what you could do is get rid of Heather and then copy it again, and that way the next person we do is already ready. So just copy it again, if you, and then back to LinkedIn. Yeah, you can hit send on this one, and then just go back a page. Oh, mate, you gonna be
Yeah,
okay?
it flares up. It'll come
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Um. So yeah, scrolling down a little bit further. So that was it, Heather. But oh, it's funny as putting him in this big icon. I want to find you. So scroll IT manager, not so much.
Is there a review or?
Sustainability officer. Yeah, I just want to find economic development people. Some of the ones I know. So scroll down. Actually,
No,
landscape architect in urban design probably not a bad thing. So yeah, um, they're actually full on with their landscaping and all that sort of stuff in Brimbank Council. I just oh,
oh Christ. Oh, I can't.
oh no,
Yeah, it's playing up. Come on. Oh,
it
it
just
just
taken.
comes and goes. Nerve damage is just such a crazy ride. It could be just,
Have you,
it can burn, it can go numb, it can
is there
do, and
anything?
then disappear.
There's nothing you can put on or anything like those
I've got a
lines.
brace. I wear braces to bed every night. I might just go and put them on just for a sec. Just give me, sorry,
Sure,
two
yeah,
secs.
no problems.
What was his name? Russell. Connect and note. Can't spell that
Yeah,
wrong,
okay,
haven't
cool.
I? Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm gonna try that again.
Okay, yeah.
Rasoul. I'm terrible with words.
Oh, that's right. Sometimes you can see behind. Yeah, there you go.
Ras.
Let's scroll down a little bit further. Team leader at Brimbank. It says tuning. I'm surprised how many. There we go. Keep going. Because you're connected to me, I would have thought Ash. Scroll it.
Yeah, I would
Scroll.
have thought.
Yeah, more would come up. Scroll down. I used to work with Ash in my area. That but he's not really, not quite. This guy Malcolm Broad is senior procurement. Probably not bad. So yeah, not message. So just with these ones where you're a third connection, you just need to click on them.
Oh,
Yeah, it's still hidden.
can I hear you? Two
Yep, yep,
seconds.
yep,
Yeah,
yep.
perfect.
All
Yep.
good. Yeah, might just need to go back there. I just want to find this is in people. I wonder if there's a way of going employees, but yeah, scrolling.
You can filter the search results,
Oh,
can't you?
you can, yeah, with Sales Navigator you can, but just oh yeah, you got 600 employees there. So right up the top, business in where it says 605, just and then you've got to search employees. Just write
Yep.
business, and hopefully, yeah, and go enter, and then scroll down. It's funny. You already, I guess, because you're already probably you should already be connected with Peter and let's just do uh, these. I think actually Philip Fan. He's in. So he's click on Philip. Yeah, don't do follow. He's so just click
Sorry.
on him, but that's okay. Philip's actually in the economic development team. Now trying that more again. Should be able to still send a connect. Yeah. Add a note. Yeah. Yeah. Um, I reckon you're already connected to a few of the others, but let's just have a look down here. Um, Although it was strange that it said you were connected to, and Phil Strati was connected to him as well.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, scrolling down, business support, but I don't know. So Samantha Earl, but she's business support officer. So I do Samantha Earl there. Huh. Oh, they got connect button on the left hand side, so yeah, you can connect. Yeah, add a note. Yeah. If it's too painful, you could go with just Sam.
I was going to do that, and I thought, oh, maybe that's a bit
Be
too.
overly familiar.
Yeah.
Right. So Anthony Fan. That's a friend of my wife, actually. That's interesting. Customer service, Carol. Yeah, a little bit further. So I'm trying to see where there's Peter and. But you know who else you can do, and we'll leave it with. There's two more. Well, just actually key them in. So up the top where it's got search, do in the search up the top there, just do iHarvest. They've actually got an admin, so it's actually Louis iHarvest. Yeah, and it's the. Just do enter. Actually, we can click on iHarvest, but that's actually this. iHarvest should be a person as well, I reckon. There we go, that person there. So iHarvest admin, that's Louis. So you connect and add a note. Yep. In actual fact, you could just write hi Louis, Louis,
L I
O
U.
U O U Ouis. Yeah, I'm sure Louis probably has a. Louis would have a. So if you click on down below where it's got iHarvest, the next slightly down, it's got companies, iHarvest, Co-working Sunshine. Probably can because they've got a lot of networking and things as well. Just click on that and see if um, that puts any people in there. Yeah, Louis. So Louis is a second. So I'd go down and connect with Louis maybe as well. I don't know. Yeah. We'll do Mayor Jasmine. So if you do up the top in search, just do Jasmine, Jasmine, and then her name is, and then a space, Nguyen, I can never get right, Ngu. Yeah, that top one I think is it. Is it? Oh, actually, no, that's not her. There's a lot of Jasmine Nguyen's though. Yeah, just go enter up the top
No,
there.
please don't send
Oh, there
cancel
she is. Yeah,
journal.
that's her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Click on her up the top. So you might need to go to her personally, yeah, and go to more, yeah, and add a note.
She come to our.
She did, yeah.
Yeah, Jazz. Let's spell that line.
Just yeah, she's in Korea at the moment. All right, and just because I can't find, it's gonna do my head. I'm gonna search their names. So Peter, I've got to think of their surname. So give me 1 second. I'll go just look it up.
Would they be a part of that Brisbane City Council?
Yeah, yeah. So, well, they should be on there. I don't know why they're not coming up on there. So, um, so the two key people. So Philip is probably the third person. He's there, um, but we got Nicole Charman. She's another one. If you do Nicole, I used to do a Peter. So what? So, oh, there he is, Peter Forbes. Yep, Peter Forbes. Add a note. Yeah, yeah. Send. And then the other one is Nicole. I probably just need to clear Peter. Otherwise, you got Peter and Nicole. So just clear Peter down below. uh, See how it does it. It searches. It's showing others. It may
Oh,
bring up. It may
yeah,
bring.
yeah, yeah.
Here you go. There she is. Yeah, Nicole Charman. So yeah.
Can I give you control? Or is it too slow?
Uh, is there a way you can give me? So yeah, in terms of over, what we can
No,
do.
it's all good. It's not the end of the world. I'm actually surviving, and it sort of comes and goes, but it's all
It's
right. I
not
just
great though. If that paint. What. So we won't. Let's not labour this, as you said. Let's while it's tough. Let's just let's maybe just talk through the idea. So clearly you could see that that process, and it's this business economic development people. The idea here is there's a couple of things that there's advantageous, right? So firstly, once you're connected to people that are strategic, you can invite them to follow the company. If they follow the company, they can start seeing the posts that we're putting across to your LinkedIn company. And LinkedIn's algorithm is more generous than Facebook's, right?
okay.
Particularly if we do a few things just to help share and spread them, which essentially means when you're going in, I'd show you now. So if you go to LinkedIn on the left-hand side, you do it. I've kind of noticed you doing it for my stuff, which I appreciate, right? So on the left-hand side, top left, if you click on the LinkedIn icon, that'll take you to home.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so what would be good is in between, if you as you go down the feed, in between liking a few things that you see from people that and other things that you're following, you like your own stuff.
Okay.
So it's a very soft way of pushing your barrow without heavily pushing your barrow. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So because as
Yeah.
soon as you engage with anything, let's say you like this Seek post from Thomas,
Yeah.
because I'm connected to you, it can appear in my feed that says
Yeah.
Chris Parker liked this, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the heck's that? And so depending on how much you're engaging, right? And it may well do that for me because you engage with quite a bit of the things that Diffy's put out on
Yeah.
occasion, right?
I'll
Or
do that intentionally.
or even Steve Hubbard, right? Yeah, exactly. So it's a good way of doing it.
Yeah.
But once we start posting for you, do the same for yours. If you don't see it initially, then go to the company page and do it in there as you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't hurt even if you do it as the company. It's still sort of, and the other thing is, the other little trick is rather than do it as a blue like, do it as a clap or a heart,
Okay.
because LinkedIn knows that takes more effort. Not just LinkedIn, all of them know. As
Okay.
soon as you go and use a heart or a laugh or whatever it might well be,
Yeah.
it adds extra weight. You know what I mean? So, the councils, neighbouring councils, you could do the same for Maribyrnong. So the thing is, once you're connected, you can get them to invite the company. They'll start to see things. But the other thing you could do is once you're connected to somebody like Peter and to Nicole, which you've already done for Peter and Nicole, I believe. But you could say, "Hey, thanks for connecting, Peter. Um, can you just point me in the right direction how to get the most out of council's resources? That sort of thing. You could ask a question around help, because these
Yep.
people are paid to help the local business, right? So they can tell you then, oh, we've got a grants coming up. Oh, we've got a networking night that we've got. Oh, we've got an email that you can subscribe to. And you can say, oh, that's all great. Who would be best if I wanted to be on a quoting list for gardens.
Yeah.
Who'd be the best person to talk to? Because you've got a very functional business that, how often do they put out to tender, mowing around community halls, that sort of stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
So
not quite sure what. I'm fairly certain Bringbank does it all in the house, but I could be wrong. That's an assumption, but
yeah,
I could be wrong about that.
that could be right, but I guess that there's be people that to talk to, and in the past, a decade ago, I probably knew who they were and what it was, but I don't now, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
but again, it's more that question of, because I imagine everywhere is struggling to find people.
Yeah.
So
And,
even
and,
if
and
they do it in house, they may well at times need
subby stuff out.
subbies to come in.
100%.
Yeah,
And just even if Bringbank does do it, it doesn't mean Maribyrnong or Mooney Ponds or any of those other.
correct. And
Yeah,
so
exactly.
so again, the key people to for you would be probably, so you could extend. We're going business development people here, and the business development people are likely to be the ones that you could ask that question of. Do you
Yep.
do it? Do you
Yep.
hire? And they might go, Peter might go, oh, I'm not sure, but you should speak to John.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And
Yep.
similarly, as you said, Maribyrnong Council, very good around their business people. So there's a need. Having said that, they're very much their own.
Yeah. Okay.
So just being mindful, you're better off. It's probably a bit like B&I. Go hard for Brimbank.
Yeah. Yeah.
And let's
Yep.
face it, if you got Brimbank, you probably wouldn't need any of the others
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
in
For
many
sure.
ways. You know what I mean? So then the other thing that I think I want to look up, just because I'm aware of them now, is can I get you to search in here whether for that Victoria Strata Association?
Victoria.
Association, I think. It's possibly Strata Association of Victoria, but that's okay. I see that there. Actually, that was interesting. There was something. Yes, go see all results, but see what's that? Who's that person? Victoria
Administrative
Strata. Click on
assistant.
that person. Oh, New York. Okay, so that's not, yeah, that's no good. But it's interesting. Uh,
Um,
Yeah, try just Victoria Strata. So Victorian. What's that one? Victorian Strata Co. Click on that. Yeah, yeah. Although is that a business? Just click on Romy Caddy. Is that a particular strata company, or is that a
yeah, not sure.
scroll down? There is the association. That's the thing, right? So that looks more. I mean, she's probably someone to connect, but you'd change your messaging to this one, right? Um, for somebody like Romy. So let's as I said, maybe go to Google where you've got that new tab open. Let's just search it there first, because I imagine there's a directory, right? Um,
I did connect with a couple of these.
yeah, this will be it. Victoria Community Strata Association. So they'd be based out of Collingwood. Yeah. So click on that one. Strata Community Association. Yep, that's them. That's their logo, right? So, and you can see. So so maybe copy that in there, right? So copy the up the top where it's got that community, so a bit higher. See, it's got Strata Community Association Victoria. See if that comes up. So see if you put that into LinkedIn, whether people refer to their membership of it. So see it
This,
where it's got welcome to Strata Community Association Victoria. It's down in the grey chunk. Um, yeah, just there. Just copy that. Oh, just put it in the search and go see all results. And go people, just up the, yeah, well, this is people. Just go see all people results below this, right? And I reckon from a homework perspective, there'd be nothing to stop you connecting with all of these people.
Okay.
And I would literally just and have a look at them. And so I remember that lady there, actually, she stood up, right? So this, particularly somebody like Donna, she's similar uh, to say the mayor or the business development person in Brimbank. There wouldn't be a strata person she doesn't know.
Yeah.
So she would be an absolute key person potentially to be able to say, hey, wouldn't mind having a coffee with you at some stage just to know who and how I'd best speak to around, getting involved in various strata, doing, providing a service. I'm really keen side of things. Yeah.
Yeah.
So strata really key. Then the other one that I know you've also been doing
NDIS.
is NDIS. So
Yeah.
same thing, right? But I would use a big, you know, uh, try and use, and that's where I can't help it. So whatever, when you do NDIS, there's probably a squillion, right? I imagine, but it's how do you bring it down to Victoria, and so that you're not then going broader than you want it to necessarily
Yeah.
be. Um,
There's um, there's already sort of five or six I'm kind of dealing with, not kind of, but with
yep,
like individuals. So there's
yep.
plan partners, my plan. There's I'm sending these invoices off to these companies. So what I probably need to do is then connect with them, find all of their staff, and try and connect with all of their staff.
Correct. And then
Yeah, for starters.
the thing is, once you this is it's not like so you just change your messaging. So for these three, you just have a slight tweak of your messaging.
Yeah,
I specialize in providing, I'm looking to specialize in providing strata and commercial mowing services. Da, da, da. For the other one, you'd probably pull on the heartstrings a little bit. I got a real heart for NDIS and
yeah,
providing mowing to, again, and that message. So you could really list build strongly here, right? You
yeah,
could really get a lot of, and depending on how you might note this, I use it. I got a CRM and I can sort of make a little note. Oh, this is an NDIS building. This is a strata. But again, you may not. You don't need to necessarily do it to that level. But what you do need to do is not just list build, right? So you can list build, and you can progressively invite them all over to Comstra.
yeah,
Um, but they're still missing the next thing. And the next thing is, hey, Donna, thanks for connecting. I wonder if you can help me. I'm relatively new in the industry. I'm providing this service for stratas. Um, you know, can you provide me a little bit of guidance on what the best way of approaching various ones might be, for instance, right?
yeah,
So again, her role is to support strata, right? And strata, we know, are probably crying out and knowing good people, right? So,
yeah.
so I guess what I'm saying is, don't leave the first step as the connection. Think about what the second note is, right? And
Okay.
and for you, it's never going to be salesy. In fact, I'm working with people at the moment that are doing almost this cold messaging, and we're
Yeah,
trying to work out how to do it in such a way that it's relational without feeling like sales. The
yeah,
issue is, you're still going to get, there still can be quite a bit of rejection in that.
yeah. That's okay. I've
Yeah,
done this for
yeah, that's right.
25
But
years. It's not
but
the
the
end of the
the
world.
thing, as you said, well, you've already been doing it, as you said, with your email and stuff as well, right? So
Yeah,
this is just adding another level. Um, the thing I'd say, and you may already know this, but somebody like Murray, for instance, where they've not got a picture, possibly not using LinkedIn to any great shakes.
yeah,
You know what I mean? People
yeah,
that have a picture and at least a completed detail, more likely to be using it. And look, you can see in there where they're located and that sort of stuff too. So
yeah,
um, often people ask me, oh, who? Because what will happen over time is then you'll start to get a lot of people coming at you to connect. I don't know if you're already experiencing that, where people, start to come and want to connect with you.
yeah. I do.
Yeah. So my suggestion around that is that as long as they're in your ballpark of people, so if they're coming to you from Indonesia,
Yeah,
and they're trying to sell you something, then don't have to connect. If they're
Yeah.
coming to you and they're a used car salesman out the back of Braybrook, well, you might as well connect with them, because the reality is, how many gardeners do they know? And the yard possibly needs mowing.
And,
So that's my
and they
sense.
might have a connection to someone I need to connect with. And
Correct. So
yeah,
my sense is, so long as they're geographically right, and you can see that they've got an image. To me, there's, well, I also balk when they put their logo, depending on how friendly I feel. Like, if they put their business logo where their face should be,
yeah,
if I know them, or I think I should know them, then I might send them a message. I'll say, "Oh, thanks, Bob, for the connect. Be great to see your face rather than your logo in where it's your face should be," sort of thing. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But often it's a giveaway that they're just wanting to push their barrow, right? So
Cool.
um, anyways, that's LinkedIn, and as you said, you're hopefully that kind of at least adds a little extra layer to what you've been doing. It's my opinion, you don't need Navigator.
Yeah, yeah. And that was a freebie that accidentally
Yeah,
started getting charged for.
yeah, I know. And in your
Yeah,
case, and when they offer us it a freebie, definitely use it.
yeah,
But realistically, you can see by this, you can connect with anybody nowadays. It used to be quite difficult. You used to have to know their email.
yeah,
Nowadays, realistically, there is certain ones that'll say, "Do you know their email?" If you don't, then you don't. But it'll ask you, "How do you know the person?" sort of thing. So,
yeah,
but realistically, you can see in most cases it's not necessarily. It's just a matter of finding how and always adding a note. So, it's, in my experience, 90% of people, if they're using LinkedIn, you add a note. Not even 90%. It's probably 99%. They'll connect with you. Um,
yeah,
basically,
yeah.
cool. Um, so just on the other ones, and because I don't know with oh, actually, I should. Um, it seems like, yes, that's probably active for a point, right? So she's in that part.
For
There you
this,
go.
yeah, it's gonna. I stopped it a couple of weeks ago, so I've got
Yeah,
a week or two. So I might actually spend a bit of time on this while I've got everything up and running.
correct. While it's in there, yeah, exactly. Make the
Yeah,
most of it. Um, let's just move across to Facebook, because Facebook's similar in some ways, and I think you've noticed already, right? So you can, if you're in your Comstra page here, see the three dots underneath search on the right hand side, just in the middle there. Yep. It's got invite friends, right? So if you go click on invite friends where they're BNI related, you can invite anybody that you're connected with um, in to follow. Now, Facebook, particularly when it's family and friends, they generally want you to do well in life. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So,
yeah,
again, no harm in inviting all of your friends to follow your page, right?
yeah, for sure.
Because they're often, they're often going to be the ones that are going to spread the word. Definitely
Yeah,
invite all the BNI ones in, if I haven't already. Although
cool.
it's so, in actual fact, so you don't have to be an admin to do that, right? Just so you know, you can invite people to follow any page you think is relevant to them.
Yeah,
So that's that one. You've already got a little bit of a following. You don't need 1,000 followers, just so you know. Proofing of pages, realistically, nowadays, it's neither here nor there, because, yes, if you've got 500 followers, then on your regular post, you might get a slightly higher number of people seeing those regular posts. So, in other words, at the moment, 35 followers, you're probably only going to get, and you probably know this yourself, three or four people seeing the posts.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
As it grows and as people engage with it, the percentage may well grow a little bit, but the reality is, as soon it doesn't really matter, because if we promote a post, all of a sudden it's 10,000 a month.
okay,
So when we put
cool.
$5 on a post, in my experience, there's two things that we'll do, and we'll look at it this morning. But effectively, we'll talk about it, and we'll do sort of almost $2 awareness and $3 traffic, for instance, right? And so we just try and get as many people as possible, or we might do three and three, or $2.50 and $2.50, where you basically get lots of eyeballs, so people start to become familiar with the brand and the imagery, and then we also have the call to action is the link to the website. So people, then we post for the other half is trying to get them across to the website so they can learn more and book, basically. Yeah.
Okay,
Um, so that's the other thing you can do in here. If you go, in fact, if you need to just go in as Comstra, so go up the top and maybe swap the profile top right, or switch profile if it's asking you. It's interesting. You got your logo. Yeah. Oh, that was so. I see. So that was you're in as Comstra. That's weird. Okay, click on. Oh yeah, there. That's it. And then you'd be able to manage the page. Yep. So when you're in as Comstra now, if you search and for instance, if you go up the top in the search area, you do BNI Elevate and click on that, and up the top. Oh yeah, so you've followed it as the page now, effectively, right? So so again, I know you do a bit of this as well, but clearly you can actually get the intent. So just I wanted to show you another way. You already do it, but let's just click on BNI Elevate. I just want to see if it's still the same. It looks like it's changed because of the way that we've got it now, but it used to be that you'd go on the three dots on the right-hand side underneath the search and see it's got like. Just click like. So now because you're in as Comstra, it's liked as Comstra. In the past, what it would do, it would say like as your page because you'd actually be in as Chris, but it would give you the option to like as your page. And what most people didn't know that that was an option, right? The
Okay.
advantage of liking things as your page, then they start to turn up in your page's news feed, right? So if we click, and it's a little bit harder to navigate to news feeds than it used to be, but if you click on go back to your profile for Comstra, and we just go, yeah, and then click on to your Meta Business Suite down on the left hand side. And I think it should come up in here now. It should show, it should show in here now. Actually, just scroll down a little bit down on this one in the middle. Yeah, recent, scroll down. Is it going to show here? Scroll down, scroll down. Business Suite. No, it's not in there. Go go all tools underneath inside, yeah. And business feed, engage audience. See up the top, business feed there, yeah. Now it should suggest ones here, right? So no reason that you wouldn't shouldn't on the right hand side. You've got BNI Business by the Sea. It's Williamstown, probably. I don't know if you go with Werribee. I don't know, Valley Youth, probably not. Funding factor, I think, is Roz. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so scrolling down, you've also got it in the middle, right? So see how here, if you go see more there, and then you've got a few others, right? So that's where you want to get the uh, so even said in Hypno, she's local. Um, Minuteman Press, who you work with. So yeah, so basically, the advantage of that Stark Finance is again, it's this follow back factor, right? And so now, so once they're following you, then they're going to see a measure of your um, of what you do. Store maintenance. She's quite active actually in BNI. Katie. There's your Judge Realty. Um, I know John at Mortgage Choice Williamstown probably wouldn't hurt in terms of although
Who's? Oh
John,
yeah.
Mortgage Choice Williamstown, Jonathan Lee. He's at so real estate's a possibly one if you're wanting to do them. Um, but again, that's in your news feed, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, BNI, yeah, that's the zoo. Yeah, that's I got a guy in there, so it probably doesn't hurt. They don't have a anybody in your space. Loose leads is actually it's interesting. Buckley's there's Goran. There you go. Um,
Okay.
cool. So that's that side of things. Now clearly, it's going to recognize what you're not going there is the things like the strata association. You probably need to try and find strata type businesses as well to get their
Okay.
attention. Yeah,
Yeah.
which we can probably do if you go to let's go to Instagram because you've probably made a start on Instagram. The next one over. Um,
Not really on Instagram. So Instagram,
yeah,
there was just a lot of the lawn people. It's
Yeah,
just good to sort of see how people do things, and
yeah,
they follow you back a lot of the time.
yeah. So with that, so with the 142 you're following, so clearly with that you can do the same thing. So again, up the top in search, just go Brimbank. It's always interesting just to see what happens with. So click on Brimbank Council, and then you can follow Brimbank Council, and then you can see they're following 263 things. Click on who they're following,
Yeah,
and it's a lot easier on Instagram and Twitter, right? So I Harvest, Greater Sunshine, possibly Sons of the West. Yeah, why not? A lot of businesses in there, or business people potentially in there. Um, I'll probably not go out. Yeah, over Newton Castle is one of their properties. So, but again, anything local helps place you right. So
yeah,
Instagram, you've made it. You'd already made a start. There's Jasmine, so probably on her there. But so connecting on these ones, uh, I don't know with soccer and footy clubs, but you can see the Sydenham Tennis Club, for instance.
is Sydenham near us?
They're in the north, just up higher. Yeah, so
Okay.
it's part of Brimbank. Um, but you'd also find Brimbank Business Link will be somewhere here. So clearly, it's often more recent ones that'll show up the top. Um, so that's that one. Twitter, we haven't done. I love the West. That probably doesn't hurt. Katie in Footscray, she's a local MP. Um, yeah. So that's that. So let's do it because you'd already made a start on Instagram, but Twitter you've not. So let's go to Twitter, which is the next one over, and up the top again, just put Brimbank in your heading up the top. There we go. And again, go and have a look and see who they're following. Oh, sorry, just on. Oh yeah, on the left hand side, it's got 352 following. And so again, there's probably a whole stack of ones that you could basically be going that help place where you're based, community foundation, all that sort of stuff. Um, but then the other thing that you can put in your search is those strata businesses, any NDIS businesses. Now, again, recognizing Twitter's 20%, there's probably going to be less people that have a Twitter profile, but
Yeah,
often when they're on it. You know what I mean? They can actually,
yeah,
particularly people that have been around for a long time, often
yeah.
7 or 8 years ago, if you chose Twitter as your main vehicle, you probably didn't leave to go to Instagram necessarily.
Okay.
You know what I mean? People stick, and Twitter is much more news sort of side of things. So again, for you, it's fairly clear where you're going to focus. You got a Brimbank focus. You got a strata company. So let's look up that strata association, see if they're on there. Or just do strata actually. What do they call it? It was Victorian or Strata Victoria.
Victorian Strata.
They actually had a hashtag going when I was at the event with Paul. Victorian President. That's old. Strata Community Association.
How do I find him? He was
Just go
here.
latest on the in the middle of that one.
Strata Community Association, Victoria.
Yeah,
Strata Community Association, Victoria. Is it Strata Vic?
yeah.
What did I
Strata
say?
Community Association Victoria. There it is. Oh, that's Queensland. Actually, might be interesting just to see who Queensland is actually. Community, yeah. Strata Community Association and Victoria. They may well not have it, but they'll be just Victoria, not Victorian, I reckon. Yeah, and just go latest rather than top. Okay. Strata Community, see down below, although it's not been done anything for a long time. See, so that's clearly an Australian. So yeah, click on Strata SCA. This will have quite a lot of probably. So I would give them a follow. The thing is, oh yeah, they are active. October 5. So follow them. So on the right hand side on the black.
Sorry, I'm just making some notes.
Oh yeah,
Twitter.
no worries.
Um, yeah,
And then see how it's got 515 following.
yeah,
And you would find there's a whole chunk of probably national and local different ones.
yeah,
Um, you're probably well versed already, but you can see on the right hand side, if you like this, you might also like real estate
yeah,
business, Australian business. So it's going to give you some other ones. Now you can do exactly the same thing for NDIS, right?
yeah,
So so NDIS, but again, find a if you can, if there's like a Victorian version, find something that's going to help you, so you can look and see who's really prominent and active in the NDIS space. And the one that I've got, that Budget Net would have a list of. Well, in fact, Budget Net. The problem is I'm working with them, and it depends on whether they've done their homework to be following others yet, right? But they have got that directory where you would be able to look people up. 8:32. Let's give your hand a rest, and
yeah. Cool.
I'll get my get my little bloke off as well.
Yeah, done.
All right.
That's good, mate.
Cheers.